Okay, I went live early. Fucking sue me. Bring the music. Bring the music. I will face it. Fucking dumbasses. Calling me out on stream. And then when I show up, oh, well, I didn't exactly mean that. I didn't exactly mean, you know, you did anything wrong. Well, then why the fuck did you call me out and said I should face the music? Huh? Why the fuck did you do that? Sounds kind of stupid to me. But stupid is as stupid does, as Mama always said. There's the link. There is the motherfucking link. Come on in here. If you dare. Right there. Right there's the link. Just click it. Or would you rather eat on stream? As soon as you start eating on stream, you're fucking backstage. The only person allowed to eat on stream here is me, and I don't do it because that's fucking disgusting. There it is. There's the link. I mean, I fell asleep on Freeman's stream, but hey, it's all good because I wasn't saying anything. But Brojo just ended his stream. He's tired. It's all good. It's all cool. I get it. Um, but telling me to hop in and face the music, and then you don't give me any music to face. What the fuck is that? Well, that's just an expression. No, it's not. No, it's fucking not. You want me to come in and face the music? Have some music for me to face. Otherwise, shut your fucking dick hole. Yeah, I'm early. Big fucking deal. No, Irenic pisses me off because he talks all this shit and backs zero of it up. Zero. And I don't usually talk about other people on my streams, but fuck that guy. He talks a lot, but he doesn't say anything. So I'm just going to let this run and see if anybody shows up. If nobody shows up, nobody shows up. I'll go fucking listen to music or watch a movie. And drink beer and smoke pot. And then probably go back to sleep. Because, none of this shit really fucking matters. It's all on YouTube and the internet. And oh my God, it's so fucking important because it's on the internet and on YouTube that you have to listen. Fuck that noise. I don't have to listen to any fucking body except myself. And half the time I don't listen to me either. But everybody wants to play these internet games, these YouTube games. Hey, look at me, I'm so important. No, you're fucking not. You're not important at all. You think you're important, but you know who's listening to you? A bunch of dumbasses on YouTube. That's who listens to me. That's who listens to fucking Brojo. That's who listens to Will. That's who listens to Pixie. That's who listens to Geo. A bunch of fucking dumbasses on YouTube. And you take their opinion seriously. Fuck that noise. Seriously, fuck that noise. I mean, I used to think, way back when, that the clown car posse was the worst kind of people that you'd ever want to meet. Nah, because they eventually shut up and went away, went to their corner, and knew their role. There's some people that don't do that. There's some people that do not know their role and think they're fucking smarter than everybody else. Hell, I don't know shit, but at least I realize that I don't know shit. If you think you know better than everybody else, fuck right the hell off. I'm not interested in what you got to say because you think you know better than me, who has lived life for 50 years and come to my own conclusions, and they're better than yours. I will fucking straight out say it. My conclusions about what goes on in life are better than yours. I'll let it go for a few more minutes, see if anybody shows up. If not, I'll watch a movie, listen to music, fucking watch porn, do something other than argue with dickheads on YouTube. I mean, yeah, it can be fun, but when you called me out and said, "Hey, Rex, come face the music," and you got no music to play, what the fuck kind of shit is that? Uh huh. That's what I thought. Nobody. There is nobody here. Nobody around. Nobody wanted to fucking challenge me on anything. Fair enough. Bunch of goddamn wussies. I'll use the 80s term. Because a pussy can take a pounding. I mean, I'm just saying, a pussy can take a pounding. Hey, Gio, come on, hop up, man. I know I sound a little mad. I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you, Gio. I seriously am not. I am drinking. I woke up, fucking clicked on this YouTube shit, and heard Irenic say I didn't have the balls to face the music. Okay, fair enough. He doesn't have the balls to come in my room. Oh, there you are, Gio. Hang on. Fuck. God damn it.
What you doing, Rex?
There you are. There you are. Hey, Gio.
Hold on.
Hey, man. Hey, man. Cool shirt. Cool shirt.
You like that?
Yeah.
It's a premium Brojo shirt. It's got it on all sides.
Oh, even in the back? Oh, shit.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's got one silver on the back too. It's a wraparound.
Oh, that's what she said. Hell, yeah. What'd you do for Labor Day, bro, Jack? The weekend, the whole weekend. Give me your whole weekend.
My whole weekend?
Yeah.
I didn't do squat.
Didn't do squat.
I did house chores. But
oh shit! Let me turn my fucking fog down.
I just did house chores, but that's normal everyday stuff.
Well, fair enough. Okay.
I do that every day. That's what I did.
Well, I went out to the head shop and bought some herb, and the chick said, "Can you help me set up this tent so I can have like this what is it, flea market display thing out in the yard?" And I was like, "Sure." Man, that was a mistake. No, I'm fucking still sore. I'm still sore. We did that shit Saturday, and I'm still sore.
Wow.
But she was.
What happened?
Oh, she hooked me up, and I put up the tent the best I could, and like
right.
fuck shit, I'm going home, get high, get drunk, take a nap.
Fair enough. Okay.
Well, I mean, I don't know if she's sweet on me or not, but we'll see.
Well, you got that beard going, right? So that's.
Oh yeah, it's coming back in. It's coming back.
I grow the beard because I can't stand shaving, and I can't stand even maintaining this. But it's better than shaving it off every fucking week. You know?
Oh yeah, that is true. You are right about that. It gets annoying having to go in there and fucking and shave that shit down. Yeah.
I hated it. In the military, fucking guys come up to you and looking at your face and shit, scraping you with a card. Like, get out of here. Get out of here with you looking at my face.
Oh yeah, I had a drill sergeant do that to me once. I probably told this story to you. But yeah, I didn't shave close enough for this drill sergeant. And he came up and got right nose to nose to me and said, "Get your ass back up in the bay and fucking shave your face." I was like, "Dude, I only missed like one or two spots." He says, "I don't care. Get up there and reshave it." Oh, all right.
They're quite ridiculous. Yeah, I've had that done to me too.
Oh, I tried not to laugh, I really did. But I cracked a smile. Oh, that made him even madder. I mean, I was like, what the fuck, man? You're shitting on me for not shaving close enough. And I can't fucking smile at that shit? Apparently not. Apparently not. So,
Well, yeah,
yeah, I mean, it's one of them things.
yeah, I know. I know.
Shit.
I know. I was there. Maybe not the same exact place, but
Oh, you saw it. So, yeah, it's good
uh,
enough. Yeah. Shit
I was there.
happens. Yeah.
I went to basic.
Well, we all did. We had to. It was not a choice. You did not. Once you signed that paper, you have no more choices. You do what they tell you to do.
Well,
Yeah.
whatever it was, you know,
There
whatever it
was,
was.
well,
Let's
there
do
was
it.
a dude. There was a dude in basic who would sneak off to the PX and buy a pack of cigarettes and sell them to everyone for a dime.
Oh boy.
When fucking first sergeant found out about that shit, oh my god, we fucking pushed for an hour. We fucking pushed and pushed and pushed, and finally the dudes in his the bay that he was selling them out of, kicked the goddamn shit out of him. I mean, really, there was like 10 people kicking this one guy. I was like, First Sergeant, is this fair? And she just kind of meandered her way back there to where they were kicking the shit out of him, and then told him to stop. I thought it was funny as fuck, but that's just me. I have a weird sense of humor. So,
Well, there's a different kind of justice in basic training. It's not the
Mhm.
same. It's not the same justice that we're used to here in the civilian life. I
oh
mean,
fuck the UCMJ. Oh, the civilians know nothing about the UCMJ.
it's
They
a
know
bit
nothing.
different.
Yeah, it's slightly harsher than
Yeah. I remember, I think this was the third day of basic, and I was sitting in a field with a bunch of other knuckleheads, and they just shaved our heads, and we're sitting there in our skivvies, and it was raining. It was really cold. And this one guy's crying like really bad. I mean, crying. And he's on the ground. We're doing exercises, out in the rain and in the field. And he's crying and crying. He says to me, I didn't know they were going to make me do exercises.
oh fuck.
I swear. I said, uh-oh. I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything back to him. I just kept doing what they just ganged up on this guy and was right next to me. They ganged up on him and just dogged him for the whole time we were there. And I was like right next to it. I was like, oh shit. I just made sure I didn't fuck up. I didn't say anything, and it just kept doing what I was supposed to do. I was like,
Yeah,
oh shit.
yeah. That's the thing about basic. Just keep your fucking head down and fucking do what you're told. And then when you get to AIT, it's a whole different ballgame. Yeah.
Yeah, AIT is great, man.
Yeah. I could smoke. I was like, I can smoke. They were like, yeah, you can smoke. I was like, ah.
Instead of them telling you to smoke,
Yeah, exactly. Well, I did have a cool drill sergeant. One was a medic, and one was a fucking Green Beret. And the Green Beret one would take me back into the smoking area and say, here, have a cigarette. I was like, what? He says, well, you've been smoking since you were 13. I mean, I know it's killing you. And I was like, yeah, it's kind of killing me. And he says, here you go, have one. He did that after lunch every day. Cool
yeah,
guy. Cool guy.
that's cool. That's all right. Well, where I was, I went to basic at Fort Knox, but They didn't have a problem with us smoking. It's just that they didn't want us smoking all the time. They tell us when we could smoke.
Ah, fair enough. Okay.
But then when we got to our base, our advanced training, when we got past the basic, they didn't care. They didn't care if we smoked.
Yeah, they were
You
like,
can't,
fuck noise. Yeah.
you can't
As
come in
long-
formation with a big fucking wad of chew in your mouth. Don't do that. Just don't do that. I've had drill sergeants make guys swallow a fucking big wad of chew.
oh, yeah, they were like doing skull or whatever. Yeah.
That's disgusting.
It is.
But imagine
I'm not,
swallowing it.
yeah, I'm not saying I haven't done it, and I'm not saying I've not been forced to swallow it. But yeah, it's not the best thing. Yeah.
I used to do red man
Hmm.
tobacco, chewing tobacco.
That's what my uncle chews. He chews the red man. So yeah, I know.
That's bad stuff, man. That is bad stuff.
His fucking my uncle's license plate says chew time.
Shoot.
Yeah, I'm serious. I'm not fucking bullshitting you. It says chew time.
It's like a way of life in the South.
I suppose.
I mean, that's what it seemed to me to be, but it's like a cultural thing.
Well, he never smoked. He never smoked. He always chewed. And I was
Well,
like,
that was the thing. When I went into the army, I started smoking, and then they told me, "Oh, wait, you can't smoke all the time." So they said, "Here, try this," and they put the chew in your mouth. I was like, "Oh, okay, I'll try that." I was from New York. What the fuck do I know about chew?
fair enough.
And that's how I started. I started, instead of smoking, I put the chew in to get this relief from the not smoking. But then I was doing both. I was smoking and chewing.
But I put the little skull bandits in, but I wouldn't put them in the front. I'd put them on the side. That's probably why my tooth over there is bad. But anyway, and that got me through.
Oh, you use the pouches?
Yeah, the little skull bandit pouch things. Yeah.
Yeah, I was full blown red man. Just grab a big fucking hunk of that shit and just shove it. It'd be sticking out. Like,
If it worked, that's
it's
all that matters.
disgusting.
Yeah, it
But
is.
I had to carry a cup around with me.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what that's for.
Ugh.
And
Yeah, don't even get me started.
what do you do with it when it's full? You got to throw it in the garbage, right? It's like,
Yeah, hopefully there's a trash can nearby. Hopefully.
I remember I was working in Sears one time. This was in Queens, and people were chewing tobacco. I couldn't figure out, well, who the hell is this one guy. He used to put the skull back, but he used to take the whole thing, without the pouch and just stuff it in there, right? But he'd be
God
spitting
damn.
in cups. He'd be spitting in cups all day, right? Filling up the cups and leaving them around in the stock room in Sears. Just leaving these cups full of spit and all around, all over the place.
Ugh.
And it was just one guy. It was gross. The grossest.
Well, that's what my uncle does. He'll take a bottle, like a little fucking Pepsi bottle or whatever, and spit in that and leave it sitting. And I'm like, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gross. I mean, hey, I did it too, but I didn't leave it sitting around. I was more sanitary with it, but it's disgusting. Hey, listen, I don't know what the rant, you went on some rant about something. I just came in and I heard you say something about face the music or something, and then I came in.
Yeah, I mean that's what Ironic said on Brothers. Well, he won't come in and face the music. Well, fuck, I was there. Where's the music?
Yeah, I don't
No,
know what he was talking about. I really don't know.
I don't either. But
Just
there's no music, so
there was nothing really going
no.
on.
Yeah, I showed up and he fucking tuck tailed and run. That's the best way I can put it.
Well, I don't like he calls you names and that's for no reason. It's like not even just to be nasty, you know?
Oh, but he's a Christian. Oh, he's a good Christian.
So
He
I
knows.
don't yeah, well, it doesn't matter. But it's not it's just bad way to be toward people.
It's bad form. If you want to
But,
debate somebody, you got to have good form. If you use bad form, you're gonna get fucked up. I'm just saying.
well, you lose credibility, you know.
Hmm.
Bad form, with bad form you lose credibility and no one takes you seriously. But I've had that happen to me plenty of times.
Oh, me too. So
So,
yeah, we know how it works. Yeah.
yeah. I usually am not on not hanging out this late, but because my housemate goes to sleep around 10, 9 or 10ish my time,
Hmm.
and I'm just too loud. I'm just too loud, so it's I have to like not do anything at night.
Well, lately I have been accused of being too loud too. So there is there is that.
Yeah, so there's other people I have to be considerate of, so that's all. Because this is not my home. This is not my home.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I don't make the rules. You know. When you get a good spot, you get a good place, where people that you are nice and just a few rules. I don't mind.
Right. Well, luckily I live alone and I can get as fucking loud as I want to. But
Well, that's good. Yeah, I used to
well,
be
I
in
don't
the
like I don't like to blow people's ears out. So there's that. I've had it done to me, and I'm sure you've had it done to you.
Oh yeah.
With Ronick, fucking, he just starts yelling out of nowhere. I'm like, what the fuck are you yelling about?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't need it. And then Brojo jumps my shit. Oh, well, you're echoing. Well, you know what? Fucking deal with it. Fucking deal with it. If Ironic's going to start yelling, I'm going to pull my earbuds out, and that's just the way it is. If you don't like it,
Yeah. Well, I yell sometimes too, but a lot of times it's because I can't even hear what I'm saying, and I can't hear myself, and then I'm trying to hear everybody else, and then I start talking over, and it's like I get so frustrated, I start yelling.
well, I get aggravated and start yelling too sometimes. But I don't mean to. It's not because I'm angry. It's I'm aggravated that you're saying stupid shit and none of it makes sense. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah,
Okay. Okay. As long as we on the same page.
yeah. You have to just not go with what you want to say. Reflex what like the reflex action. Someone says something, and you immediately think, "What? Oh wait, I can't do that. I have to stop myself."
Fair enough. That
from
yeah.
that instant, immediate reaction to what people say.
I've done that. I've been wanting to call somebody a motherfucker for saying something they said, but I didn't. I
Again, you
didn't.
got to hold your tongue.
Yeah.
You hold your tongue
Yeah.
just for a moment.
Yeah, you got to bite that shit. Yeah.
Yeah, regroup, bite your tongue, regroup, and then go on. I mean, I don't know. It's a coping strategy, so you don't end up arguing with everyone.
Well, yeah, it's a coping strategy. It keeps you out of trouble, and people don't jump in your shit with both feet. And because you said you're just a dumb motherfucker to somebody on panel, and it
Yeah.
breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, and then take 10 seconds or whatever.
Yeah. A pause, just a pause.
Yeah,
Instead of an immediate reaction, a slight pause before the reaction. Just a slight pause. But I'm guilty of it too, Clockwork. So it's not like you're doing anything that nobody has ever seen before. It's like,
oh yeah, but they jump on my shit like, oh, you motherfucking Clockwork Rex, you're a goddamn shady motherfucker. Yeah, well, I am a shady motherfucker. I never said I was a nice guy. I never said I wasn't an asshole. So what's your fucking point? Yeah.
you treat me okay. I have
Oh.
nothing bad. I have nothing bad to say about you.
Well, I appreciate that, Gio. I really do. Because lots of people have lots of bad shit to say about me.
Yeah.
But it fucking rolls off my back.
Yeah, like what? I'm only kidding.
No, you wanted me to say it. I'm not going to say it.
No,
It rolls
you don't
like
have to
water.
tell that.
Like water.
Like off a duck's back.
Yeah, like water off a duck's back. There you go. I wasn't going to say sperm.
Oh, were you? Well, I gotta go. It's good night time.
Oh.
You can't see me. You can't see her.
Oh. Oh. What'd you say? I missed that.
That's a new puppy. That's a new puppy.
Oh. See. Now you're gonna get all the women's in here with the puppy and shit. Yeah, there you go.
I'm a puppy. I'm a puppy.
No, it's a cute dog. It's a cute dog.
Go new door.
Yeah, that's the pet my belly pose. Yeah.
It just lays there. I move my camera. That's my backup computer over there.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, okay. I have a computer sitting right here. And I also have a computer over there. She's still laying in the same position.
Well, yeah, you ain't finished petting her fucking belly, man. You ain't finished petting her belly.
No. She's in that.
She's like, you're not done yet, motherfucker.
She's just laying it like this.
Uh-huh.
I gotta go, Rex.
Oh, okay. I appreciate it, Gio. Thank you for stopping by.
Sure, man.
Back anytime.
There's nobody else alive right now.
So. I know. Nobody wants to hop up. It's just me and you. and you got to go. It's like,
My
fair enough.
roommate's going to bed, and I gotta
Fair
shut her
enough.
down. Shut her down.
Fair enough.
So I'll
I'll
see you.
talk to you later, Gio.
Right, man.
You
Ciao.
take care, man. And then it was me. So 35 minutes? Well, okay. Maybe somebody else will show up, have the fucking cojones to come in here and talk to me, but I doubt it. I doubt he's even fucking. He, if he eats on my stream, backstage. I'm just saying. And if nobody else shows up in a few, fuck it. I'll watch a movie, smoke a bowl, maybe go to somebody else's stream. What the fuck is this? Oh, boop. Um, do you know back in the day, Mary Marvel of Shazam was actually a dumbass? But in the movies, the Shazam movies, the first and second one, they made her super smart. But in the original comics and cartoons, she was a dumbass. Kind of like some other people that we know that don't know their asshole from a hole in the ground. Well, I've heard no more boots. Do I need to repost the link? If you want to join, I mean, I doubt it's fucking run out. But there it is. You want to join? Come on. Let's have at it. Or let's just have a conversation like me and Gio did. I mean, I'm here. It's Labor Day weekend. As far as I know, we did everything we needed to do today. And so tomorrow, I won't have shit to do. But you know, it works like that sometimes. I am not hearing anybody booping in. Like I said, I'll give this some more minutes. And then I'm going to go fix me a salad. I don't know. A salad and a hamburger? Mm, I'll see. At least a salad. What's your favorite kind of salad dressing? Anybody watching? Uh, Flick it in the YouTube chat, the side chat. What is your favorite kind of salad dressing? Oh, hey, Ruth. Fuck. Who's brave enough to step into the Thunderdome? Nobody? All right, we're at 41 minutes. Oh, creamy Caesar. You know what? I'm gonna fuck you up with this. Their roots. Um, I like blue cheese. I like blue cheese dressing. And fuck you for saying I'm gross. I like it. My second favorite is buttermilk ranch dressing to go on my salad. I just like it. I don't know. Okay, well, fuck me again. Okay. Oh, okay. Cool roots. Yeah. Blue cheese is awesome. I don't care what anybody fucking says. So there's no fucking people who like Thousand Island or fucking French or what's the other one? Shit, I can't remember right now. Oh wait, we got the salty rant. He popped up. All right, let's see what's going on.
You know, you know, I'm not
Yeah.
sure I like the way you introduced me. I popped up. What am I, a boner? Maybe.
Well, you know.
Seriously, I haven't done jack shit all weekend except go to work, smoke cigars, hang out, watch some YouTube at work, listen to my audiobooks, and stay the fuck awake. Unfortunately, when I go home, it plays havoc on my sleep schedule because I can't sleep for shit because I've been awake all night.
That's fair enough. You know what helps me sleep? I go sit in the shower for about 10 to 15 minutes, let the hot water hit me, and then I'm like, God damn, I'm ready to get to bed. That's what helps me. I don't know if it'll help you, but it helps me.
It probably would help me, but I just don't want to fucking take a shower. I'm so tired when I get home. Like, I'm not tired enough to go to bed. Like, it's fucked up, right? So, like, 2 o'clock in the morning, like, I work 10 at night to 6 in the morning. 2 o'clock in the morning rolls around. I'm sleepy as fuck. I want to go to sleep. Barely keep my eyes open. Just doing whatever. Listening to my audiobook, getting out, stretching, whatever. Shit, man. 6 o'clock rolls around. I'm raring to get the fuck out of here. I'm racing to get home. I'm a few minutes away from home, so I'm close.
Yeah,
And I go
you
home,
told
and
me.
then I'm like, I can't fucking sleep.
Oh man, yeah, that's bad. That's bad. You
Or I'm
told
going
me
through my
once.
fucking safe.
Well, you
I
told me
told you
once
what?
you're like 10 or 15 minutes away from your house.
Yeah, it's super fun. Well, yeah, with traffic in the morning, I'm about 15 minutes or 20 minutes away from home,
Hmm.
depending on the traffic lights. There
Hmm.
are ways I can go around the traffic lights, but it's more of a hassle than it's worth.
Yeah.
Shortcuts.
Fair enough.
And, you know, I drive like a fucking maniac. So one of these days, cops going to fucking be setting up on me. And he'd be like, I got you, fucker. I'm like, you do?
Mm-hmm.
And depending on how much of a prick he is, he'll be like asking me. I can just see it now. He'll be asking me, what's your fucking hurry? I said, well, your wife said she was getting undressed. Or your mom said she was going to, you know, fucking give me a blowjob. So that's why I'm rushing to get home. You know, just see what he says. You know, but, you know, we'll see. But the cops where I live, some of them are pricks, but not all of them. I remember years ago, I was getting ready to take a job in Arizona, right? And a cop caught me talking on my cell phone. I'm like, fuck, he got me, right? And he was a big fat motorcycle cop. And I asked him jokingly, I said, sir, I said, I'm not trying to say anything, you know, bad about you, but, you know, I noticed when you get on your motorcycle, the tires squish. I said, do they have a weight limit? I said, because with all your gear and your combined body weight, you make that bike squish. And he goes, you want to go to fucking jail? I'm like, for what? Running your fucking pie hole. I said, not really. He goes, keep your mouth shut. I said, just an observation, sir. You know? And got all fucking mad at me and shit. You know, fat cops, they don't like to fucking joke. They're really fucking picky about their weight. You know?
True. That is true. You are.
You know, I've been fat my whole life. I'm like an upside down. Well, no, I'm like the truest form of a Liberty Bell. I'm small on top, big on the bottom, and cracked in the back. Just the way I like my women. And you know what? I don't care.
Hey, look, man,
It's
you're
not like,
pear-shaped. You're pear-shaped,
Yeah.
and that's cool. That is cool.
you know, I don't know if it's cool, but you know, it's the genetics I got from my parents. You know, got bad genetics, but whatever, dude. It's, you know, a lot of people tell me, "Oh, you got a dad bod." Yeah, but I'm not a dad. Never have been. Well, you got a dad bod. I'm like, whatever. Yeah, I'm like, I don't care. But yeah, man, I've been doing shit. I've just been hanging out at work. Just, you know, I was gonna have a trainee tonight. Thank God I didn't have a trainee tonight. Like, how do I fucking tell somebody that, you know, like this is the easiest fucking job in the world, easier than any other job I've ever had, except for a job I had when I first came here, guarding a pile of dirt. Literally, I wasn't guarding the dirt, but I was guarding the fittings coming out of the ground for the natural gas, right next to a pile of dirt.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. But it was
So
a pile
I used to
of
have
dirt.
my truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a pile of dirt right next to it. And all the fucking you know, Riverside County sheriff's deputies would come by and they'd stop because I'd have my doors open. I'd have my feet kicked up in the fucking crook between the driver's side door and the A pillar. I'd have my seat laid back, and I'd have my fucking cap over my eyes. And he's like, "What are you doing?" I said, "Observing and reporting, sir." And he goes, "And how's that?" He goes, "You got your fucking eyes closed." I said, "But I have excellent sound."
Yeah, my
You know,
hearing is great. Yeah.
Exactly. I said, "I knew you were coming up before you even knew." You know, I heard the fucking brakes squealing and the fucking car popping over the curb and the crunching on the gravel. You know, and I'm like, and I had the fucking, you know, we had these badges that we used to have to carry, like the fucking shields and shit. I just threw it up on the dashboard with my hat that said security. So it's like, you know, a cop's walking up, he already knows. And he's like, "You need anything?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "If you guys want to run to 7-Eleven and get me some donuts, I'd appreciate that." He goes, "No, we're not going to do that." I said, "Well, then you shouldn't ask me if I need anything."
Yeah, man. Are you not going to go to Subway and get me a sub? What?
Exactly.
What the fuck, man? Yeah. Yeah,
Why
exactly. Yeah.
You know, and some of them were dicks. You know, one guy came up with his hand on his gun. I'm like, "Hey, officer," I said, "there's no reason for you to put your hand on your gun." I said, "I'm law abiding." I said, "I'm supposed to be here." He goes, "How do you know I have my hand on my gun?" I said, "Because I can see you doing it." You know, stupid shit like that. And they're like, "What are you guarding?" I said, "What does it look like?" He goes, "A pile of dirt." Yeah, and not exactly. I said, "There's a fitting on the other side."
Oh, I'm guarding this here pile of dirt. What do you want?
Yep, exactly. And they're like,
Oh,
seriously, you're guarding a pile of dirt? I said, not exactly. I said, it would look like that, but if you look behind the pile of dirt, there's a fitting, a gas fitting for natural gas. I said, that's what I'm guarding.
yeah,
And,
you
they'd
don't
be like,
want.
why? I said, fucking call my company. I don't know. That I do what they tell me to do.
Well, they didn't want a bunch of kids coming by putting golf balls on top of it and trying to fucking drive them into the wherever.
Not only that, like people were tagging, and there was people that were going out and stealing the metal, like you got them like steering wheel things, the
Oh
levers
yeah,
to open them up.
they will take copper. They will take
Yep.
your goddamn what is that under your car in
Oh,
the
catalytic converters and shit. Yeah.
yeah, they will fucking steal all that shit if you let. Yeah.
So I was working another property. It was a storage property, and they had these water meters on the street, like they were enclosed in boxes for each little fucking building or whatever, like series of buildings. So a guy would come in a van, they'd open the slider on the van, lean out, cut the lock, flip the cage up, and then steal the fucking fitting. Right? They
Damn.
turn off the water and saw off the fitting, and it was worth a lot of money because there was a lot of copper and brass. And
Oh,
so
yeah.
the guy that ran the storage property was a prick. His name was Jeffrey. I can't remember his last name. Anyway, I was working for this company. I'd been with him for like 11 and a half years. And he's all bitching, pissing, moaning, yelling, screaming, saying I'm not doing my fucking job. Yet my job was to park in his driveway at the storage facility every hour on the hour, make a run in the main area all the way around, use the bathroom, whatever, and then realarm the panel and go down the road to the external storage facility, which was site B, do the same thing, and then rearm it, and then get out. And he's like, oh, they're not doing their fucking job. My boss is like, how do you know he's not doing his fucking job? There was video surveillance and shit, audio surveillance. Sometimes I thought this guy was in his window whacking off, watching me. He had nothing better to fucking do. But I'm like, this fucking guy. Like, he just makes it really hard to do your fucking job when you have an on-site manager that's overbearing.
Oh,
And so I did
hey,
that for a couple of years.
look. Well, give me a second. I worked at the golf course. I maintained the fairways and the fucking greens and fucking rough. And my boss was a goddamn dick. I didn't do it fast enough for him. I'm like, what the actual fuck are you talking about? You can only mow so fast. You know what I'm saying?
And,
And
another thing is if you're mowing and you go too fast, you're going to lose the line you're mowing on. Then it's going to look like dog shit.
Yeah, exactly. And I would mow the front nine, and I would be fine, and then I would go on to the back nine, and fuck, I would roll a joint and smoke it when I got to, fuck, I don't know, one of the buried back holes, and dude would give me shit about that. Well, you're smoking pot while you're out there. Yeah, you're doing coke in the fucking greenhouse. So what? Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, he would fucking snort lines and watch the chicks in the pool while I did my job. And when I got to the back nine, I didn't do it on the front nine. When I got to the back nine, I'd roll a joint and smoke it. Well, you're
Nothing wrong with that.
really slow now. Uh-huh. Okay. Well, go
Yeah,
ahead.
I've had employers like that in the past. I used to work at Boulder Station Hotel and Casino. And I used to work on the graveyard shift, and it sucked because I was a bike officer, right? So I was an armed security guard, bike officer, and I used to have to roll through the parking lots. And what we do, every 2 hours, everybody would shift. So if I started in the F lot, which was Frank, then I would go to Charlie or David or Baker or Adam, or sometimes I'd be in the parking garage all night. And, just dumb shit. Like, I got a boss that was fucking giving me grief, and I knew a bunch of Las Vegas Metro cops when I worked in housing authority in Vegas. And so they would come to the fucking casino looking for me. They'd be driving around the outside. They'd find me and they'd fucking turn on their fucking yellow lights and we'd sit there and bullshit. And then surveillance would watch me. And then all the time surveillance was Sam 1. And, my unit number was 70. So it'd be like, Sam 1, unit 70, are you code 4? And I just give him 4 fingers, tell him code 4, whatever. My boss used to get pissed off because he would think I wasn't doing my job. And so he would go up to the surveillance room and he'd watch the fucking surveillance because they'd zoom it in on me and I had a black book. We were fucking giving notes. I'm like, all right, this guy over here. Because the people from housing authority would come to the casino and spend their drug money, proceeds of the drug money. And the guy would come with a car of women and he'd park in a handicap spot. And I'm like, every time I was in this one lot, he would park in the handicap spot. I'm like, hey, I said, I know for a fact you're not handicapped. I said, you're going to have to move your car. We're going to tow it. And, he would give me some shit. I'm like, look, dude, I said, if you guys want to suck your glass dicks, cool. Don't do it in the parking lot. Smoke your crack somewhere else. If you want to come in here and spend money, great. But don't try to be pimping, panhandling, whatever you're doing. I said, because you're on private property. I said, we have rules. Just like when you're in housing authority slinging your dope. It's boundaries, respect. And so he didn't really like it, but he knew me from housing authority. It's like, all right. Anytime he dealt with any of the other guards, you would give him fucking bullshit. And they would get mad. They'd be like calling for supervisors and everything else. So I just roll up to him and be like, what are you doing? I said, come on now. I said, you know better. And then the cops would roll through and they'd ask me, hey, did you see so-and-so? I'm like, yeah. And I'd give them fucking plate numbers and all kinds of other shit, pertinent information. So one day I was in the front lot. I think it was Baker. And it was right off the fucking Lamb and fucking Boulder Highway. And we have a guy in a tower. He was sleeping, of course. And my boss came out there and fucking, ripped me away from the cops. And the cop's like, what are you doing? He goes, well, this is my employee. He goes, yeah, but we're here on official capacity. We're talking to your employee because he has pertinent information. And, he kept getting surveillance to interrupt my conversation, right? Because I was supposed to be patrolling around on the bike, but I was on graveyard. There wasn't much going on. I think it was like a Tuesday night. I'm talking to the cops, sharing my information with them because I had the information from observing and reporting. I had written down vehicle numbers and vehicle descriptions, because these guys had multiple vehicles. One guy had a Chrysler 300 station wagon. It was like a metallic silver with fucking 22-inch wheels. Super dark limo tint on the windows. Well, that car wasn't registered in his name. It was registered to some female, an older female, maybe a mom or an aunt or something. And then he had another car, and then he had a truck, whatever. And so the cops were like, hey, what did you see him driving? I'd be like, oh, yeah, he was driving the 300 wagon. What about his truck? I haven't seen it in like 2 weeks. Or what about this other car? I said, yeah, I sometimes see it, but I don't know who's driving it. Shit like that, because they were keeping track, because, they know the guy's a fucking drug dealer. And they wanted to establish a pattern of where it goes.
Yeah, they got him under watch. Yeah, I get that. Yeah. They ain't fucking stupid. I mean, come on.
He's not stupid. He knows he's being surveilled, but he's trying to do it in a way where it makes it look like he's doing something he's not doing. I guess if that makes sense.
Kind of.
So my boss suffered from Napoleon complex, little dick syndrome. He was a little short guy, about 5 foot, nothing. And he was a former Marine. Not that there's anything with being a former Marine, but the guy was overbearing as fuck for being the graveyard supervisor.
If I could interject, Marines, I like the Marines. They go in first, they kick ass. But a lot of them have a fucking chip on their shoulder when they get out.
Especially when they get out. When they get out and they're in the civilian world, they got a fucking chip on their shoulder, man.
Yep.
I don't know why. Yep. And they're like, oh, the Marines this, the Marines that. And I asked him one day, I said, look, if the Marines were so fucking great, then why did you only stay in for a 6-year enlistment? Why didn't you, do it for the rest of your life, like become a 20-year member? And of course, when I asked that question, I became his mortal enemy. I'm like, fuck, whatever. Like,
Hey, look,
he took
I
his
did
he
8.
took his
I
job
did
way too
8.
serious.
Yeah, yeah. I did 8 in the Army. That was enough. I was fucking done. That's enough.
But the point
Okay.
but the point is everywhere you go, it's not like you have a chip on your shoulder and you're not talking about like, oh, it was so fucking great. And, well, if it was so fucking great, why did you only do 8 years? That would be the question I would ask, right?
Oh, yeah. Why didn't you do 20? Why didn't you retire?
Exactly.
Because I didn't fucking want to. That shit's
Exactly.
hard. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. But
But,
the way these guys make it sound, right? I was like, whatever. And so there were a bunch of guys that went through the Marines on different shifts, and they all had like a clique, right? I'm like, whatever. And some of them were on swing shift, most of them were on graveyard, blah, 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 whatever. And they were real strict on their fucking rules. I mean, just fucking to the point where, like, I would dread going to work on graveyard. Hated it. Tried to get on swing shift a couple times, and, I just couldn't fucking do it. The slots just weren't opening up. And the guy was a dick. I mean, he was just overbearing. He was a dick. And he ended up losing his job over something. I ended up losing my job over something else, but I was ready to quit after a year, and I actually ended up quitting and giving him the fucking finger and saying, fuck you, I don't care. And then shortly thereafter, I moved to Suck My Dick, California. But working in a casino is rough. Like, if I could go back and do it, I would do things totally fucking different. 1, I wouldn't talk to anybody unless I had to. 2, I wouldn't consort with anybody I work with ever. And I would just fucking go there like a machine, fucking do my job, and go the fuck home. That's pretty much it. But it was a good life lesson. The job I have now, I come to work and I fucking go home. I don't associate with anybody. I don't work any overtime. I don't give a fuck. I just do what they tell me to do for 8 hours. They own my ass for 8 hours, 4 days a week. And then for the other 3, they can go fuck themselves.
Oh, exactly. I mean, I go out there and I fucking herd cows and herd goats. Fuck a goat. Look, Salty, anybody else listening, if you can get away with not working with goats, fucking go that path. I chose the wrong direction. But
yeah, but in the grand scheme of things, living where you live, it's probably the best thing that ever happened to you.
oh,
You're
sure.
somewhat off grid. You're somewhat off grid. You're away from the fucking city and the hustle and bustle and all the bullshit. You got your own fucking place to call yours. And fuck a motherfucker if they think they're gonna fucking come on your property and tell you what to do. Like, your house is your castle.
Oh, yeah.
That's where you're lucky in a lot of respects. But again, not everybody has that freedom of choice, or I guess freedom of finance.
That's fair. Yeah. My house and the land it sits on is paid for. So.
Exactly. And that's a financial freedom a lot of people don't have or fail to understand. I had a house, but I had to pay for my land every month. So, my house was mine, but therein lied the problem with the fucking land, It wasn't rent controlled, And it's kind of a fucking scam, and it was almost like living in a homeowners association because of the rules of conduct and regulation and all that. Like, I'm not trying to be ignorant, but if I'm going to spend money on a house and land, I want to be able to whip open the back door and whip my dick off the deck and piss and not have anybody say anything. Even if I have perfectly working indoor plumbing, Just once. I want to be able to walk outside on the deck, whip it out, and piss off the side of the deck. Just because I want to. You know?
Yeah. I mean, I can open my front door, walk outside, whip it out, and piss right there. Nobody
Exactly.
says shit. Yeah, nobody says shit.
It's exactly my point. Like, if you want to fucking take some tannerite and blow something up on your property on 4th of July or New Year's Eve, nobody's going to say a fucking word about it.
That's my neighbor. He likes to blow shit up on the 4th of July. Labor Day, he blew some shit up last night. I woke up and I was like, what the fuck is that? Oh, that's my neighbor. He's blowing some shit up. So I was
Awesome,
like,
dude.
okay. Yeah.
You know, live and let live. Stay in your own fucking lane. Fuck what everybody else is doing. Do your shit. And just fucking live your life, dude. Like, that's the way life should be. You know, like where my mother-in-law lives, it's not an HOA. We had the fucking right-wing anal Christian prick move out years ago, and a nice family replaced him with adult kids. And the fucking family is great. I think they're Christian, and I think they're more like right-wing, like Trump supporters like me. Super cool family. Don't get on anybody's nerves. They don't get in anybody's business. They're always fucking waving, saying hello, whatever, you know. But they pretty much keep to themselves. Me, I always keep to myself. All my other neighbors, they keep to themselves. Even the ones that have kids. It's just a real nice place to live. But when you have that one rotten neighbor that's always in your ass, trying to dig in your business, or, you know, fucking, like in the past, the neighbor next door, the ultra right wing anal Christian, he would tell me, I don't like your car. I'm like, why? Because it looks disgusting and it smells. I'm like, well, Daddy Warbucks, are you going to buy me a new fucking car? You going to be my fucking sugar daddy? No. I said, then shut your fucking mouth. Keep your opinions to yourself. I don't like the way your daughter and your wife dress. The dresses come all the way down to the fucking ground. I don't like the way you dress. You look like an uptight anal fucking whatever the fuck. And he looked at me and goes, really? I said, yeah. I said, how do you like that? He goes, I don't. I said, good. Go back in your fucking house. I told him, I said, if I want any lip out of you, I'll scrape it off my zipper with a butter knife. And he got all offended by it, right? And then what did he do? He called my fucking brother-in-laws that used to live at the house that he was still friends with. And then they came over to cause a bunch of shit with my mother-in-law and about how I'm talking to the fucking neighbors. And I told them in front of their wives and my mother-in-law to all eat fat dicks. So you are not going to tell me how to live in your mom's house. Yeah, I mean, it got to the point where they were fucking buying me pajamas for Christmas and shit because I used to walk around in my underwear wearing a wife beater, right? My mother-in-law had no problem with it. All of a sudden, one of her sons comes over.
Wait. Time out. Were they tidy whities or were they boxers?
No, I was wearing boxers with like a wife beater and shit, right?
Okay. All right.
I don't wear tidy whities. What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't either.
Should have looked like a fucking string bikini and shit.
Yeah, when I joined the army, they said, "Do you want boxers or briefs?" And I said, boxers." Because fuck that noise. Yeah, fuck that.
You know, chafing and everything else, man.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I was walking around and he comes over with his son, and his son knows how I dress. And he's like, your mother should be so proud. I said, watch what you say about my mother, because she's deceased. I said, you're lucky I don't slap the taste right out of your fucking mouth. And he looked at me and goes, oh, it's like that? I said, hey, motherfucker. I said, you don't live here. I do. I live here with your sister, my wife. Your mom doesn't fucking care how I dress. And then as it progressed, I had to start wearing shorts over my boxers, you know, because other people were coming to the house, other family members, you know, but they made a big fucking production of it years ago. Then they wanted to have an intervention with me. And they wanted to sit down and talk to me about...
Wait. Hang on 1 second. An intervention about what? You're drinking or you're smoking of cigars? What was the
Neither.
intervention?
The
What
the
they what
intervention was about my attitude toward the neighbor and walking around my boxers in the house
oh
or
fuck
going in
that.
the backyard.
Oh, God damn. Yeah, okay.
Dude, I'm
Continue.
telling you,
I'm sorry. No,
this is
go ahead.
why. This is why I'm somewhat dysfunctional now. Okay, so this is nothing to do bad against my wife. I love my wife. I've been married to her for 18 years. We just celebrated our 18th wedding anniversary in May after I turned 56.
Congratulations.
Right?
What date?
Thank you.
What day?
Uh, I don't want to say here because the trolls will run with it.
Okay,
But
well
I'll tell you.
my birthday is on May 19th. Is it pretty close to
Yeah,
that?
my birthday is on May 2nd, and just past the 19th was my anniversary. Between the 19th and the 31st.
Fair enough.
So anyway, so they wanted to have an intervention about me walking around my fucking boxers. I'm like, the fuck, dude? Like, seriously? Like, this is how you know you're in a liberal hellscape, right? Like, this is the way, like, when I had my mobile home and I worked for the mobile home park, the manager would come to my fucking house. I'd walk out in a pair of boxers, pair of socks, and a t-shirt. I'd go grab my fucking mail. I'd be standing in the street talking to her. She's like, you're not dressed. I'm like, hey, I said, I'm on my day off. And I said, you came to me, remember? And she goes, and this is what you do? I said, there's nothing indecent about it. I said, you don't see any skid marks, do you? And she started laughing. She's like, no. I said, all right, then. Don't worry about it. You know?
No. You said that, and I will put my boxers on and my socks and my boots and walk down the driveway and get my mail. And the neighbors look at me and wave, and it's no fucking big deal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, so my brother-in-laws, to them, it's like the fucking end of the world. It's like the Titanic sinking. I'm like, the fuck, bro? Like these fucking guys, like, I don't know, dude. Like, I could just tell you the fucking shit that they've done, and you'd be like, what the fuck? I'm like, I know, right?
Oh, yeah.
So it's not about placing blame, but like I don't have the wherewithal to keep fighting with my in-laws. And if I knew what was in store for me marrying my wife, I wouldn't have fucking done it. I would not have done it at all. I would have just lived with her, and then when things didn't work out, I would move the fuck out, and we would have gone our separate ways. Now, I'm glad that we're married because we both decided in 2011 to go to marriage counseling, and by the grace of God, and you know, I am a Christian. I believe in God, but I'm always a work in progress. By the grace of God, He saved my marriage, and He saved me, as well as my wife, and we have this relationship now that is just, it's fucking great. Like, we don't fight. We might argue once in a while or bicker, whatever, but you know, not like it was before. Like I hold God at the highest point, then my wife, and then fucking everybody below her.
Well,
and that's the way it should always be.
Well,
but that wasn't my.
If you want to.
What's that?
I said we could get in a fight if you want to.
No. I don't want to get in a fight.
No. I respect your and your wife's. I mean, your togetherness. It's fucking amazing. I've never found a woman that I could do that with.
You know, and I got a lot of friends like you that tell me, "Oh man, you're fucking lucky." I'm like, "Lucky hell, dude." I said, "I'm living in a fucking liberal hellscape here." I said, "There's nothing luck about." You know, I said, "Yes, I forged my own path."
You are in fucky California, so I mean, you know,
yeah,
there is that.
California, the People's Republic, suck my dick. You know, and then when I refer to it as that, they're like, "What the fuck?" Like they can't, you know, they don't understand. I'm like, look, I'm not from here. I'm not a liberal. You know, I believe in the Second Amendment. I believe that responsible people whether you've had a felony in your past or not, should be able to own guns and bear arms. It's the people's responsibility to protect themselves, not the police, not the government.
It is ours. Yes. If somebody tries to come through my front fucking door and it's just me here, because like I said, I live alone, that motherfucker's getting blown back out in the front yard. He might
Yep.
I'll let him take a step into the house, but then that motherfucker's gone.
I know.
What the fuck are you trying to do? Don't kill yourself.
And so, living here in California, we don't have what you would necessarily call castle doctrine. It's unfortunate.
Well, it's not castle doctrine in Virginia either. But if you step your foot in my house and I did not say, hey, come on in, and my yard and property is posted no trespassing, I can fucking blow your ass out of the door and the cops will go, okay.
Yeah.
You
Well,
did
you
what
can't.
you had. Yeah.
You couldn't even entertain just the thought of that where I live, because they would take your ass right to jail. That's why I'm not an armed security officer, because even if I was acting in self-defense of myself or someone else, my ass is taking the ride to jail no matter what. Even if I'm justified, no matter what, I'm going to go to jail. I'm going to get booked and fingerprinted. Okay. And even if they let me out and they don't pursue any charges, that's going to be on my record. They took me to jail. It's going to make it harder for me in the future if I wanted to buy any guns or, do any Second Amendment related activities.
Yeah, you have been arrested. Your rights are restricted. So, I don't know.
And law enforcement is so quick to do that to people, to restrict their rights. Like I said, California is not a pro-gun state. So when you got these people like USCCA running the fucking ads and saying, oh, you should become part of the USCCA, we'll protect you. No, the fuck they won't, because in the fine print of the USCCA contract, if you get arrested and you decide to sign off on a deal that's admitting guilt, the USCCA will then come back at you and make you pay all the fees associated with your case and then drop you as a client.
Jesus Christ.
Because you pled guilty.
Never admit guilt. I never. Do not admit.
Doesn't matter.
You did it.
It doesn't matter if you plead guilty or not. They're still going to find a way, if they want to charge you with a crime.
Oh, out in the communist Fornia? Okay, yeah, I see that. Yeah, I can see that.
So like here's an example. And it's not bragging. I mean, like if Bradley the Worm, not so honest Abe, knew what I did in Vegas, he'd probably cream in his pants. For years, I was an armed guard and I had my carry conceal permit, and I would go everywhere with a gun except for the places I wasn't supposed to. Bars, schools, government properties. Now I would go to the lake. Lake Mead is still considered part of the interior. It was a government, recreational facility. But I would take my gun with me, and I had my carry conceal permit. And if I went camping or whatever, outside or in my truck or whatever, I always had a loaded firearm with me, because it was the two-legged predators that I was most worried about over the four-legged predators, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I wanted to be able to protect myself at all costs. I'm like, I always had the adage, I'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6. So when I worked in Housing Authority, Section 8, HUD, and all that.
Wait a minute. Time out. You said you're fat. Did you not say you're fat?
Yeah, I was fat back then too, but I still carried a fucking big gun and I walked softly.
Well, it would take more than 6 to carry you. I'm just saying. I carried an uncle out that was pretty goddamn fat.
No. I said I would rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6. Six
Yeah, I
people would
heard
have been
that.
able to carry me.
Yeah,
You know,
no,
back in the
no.
day, I was 400 pounds. I had a triple chin, and then I started gradually losing weight. You know, but
Well, you
I
needed
can
at
go get a
least.
carry.
Come on, man.
Yeah,
You
okay,
needed at
8.
least. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
But
Okay.
here's the thing. I used to carry a full size 1911 in an inner pants holster, and the top
Mhm.
of the gun, like the fucking hammer and the fucking handle with the palm swell, extended beaver grip safety and palm swell, that would hang
Oh,
out of my fucking pants. But I wore enough clothing in the summertime so it didn't look like I was imprinting. And then in the wintertime, it was super easy, man. Just throw a jacket over it.
oh, sure. Yeah. That's what Dad did. I had a weird fucking dream about my dad. He was a security guard at a hospital. I was like, dude, Dad, um, we're gonna get shot in the head. It was a weird dream. It was seriously a weird dream. And Dad was like, "Fuck you, none of that shit's real." But yet he got a concealed carry license a week later.
Right?
And yeah, he
Like
yeah,
well when I went through my
well, he actually had to pull it on the dude in the hospital because the dude was freaking out. I don't know if it was meth or coke or whatever,
who knows?
but yeah, shit happens like that. I don't know. You ask me if I believe in God, I say I don't know. You ask me, do I believe in prophecy? Kinda. Yeah, I kinda do.
Yeah. You know, I don't think there's any wrong answer, but you know, that's just my way of not wanting to argue with anybody. But you know, I used to work in housing authority security. You know, like I would get a contract through the company I worked with, and I would have to go to the worst fucking places and work as
Oh.
an armed security officer.
Hmm.
And so I had a level 2A vest that my wife had bought me while we were dating. She was still living in California. I had to take off all the police packages, police emblems and everything and return them back to the uniform store. I'm like, I'm not keeping these. I said, here you go. And I decked it out with security, you know, so you know I was security. And I
Hmm.
wore it on the outside of my clothes. I had some plates for it and stuff. And underneath in a Miami Classic, I carried a Kimber 1911. I was able to do it on private property without a carry conceal permit because it was a gray area of the law. And then on my duty belt, I had
Yeah.
15 round high cap mags back in the day. This is 2001. And I was carrying my Glock 22 third gen with a 15 round high cap mag, and I topped it off with 1 round. So I had 16 rounds. It had night
Mhm.
sights. It had the Streamlight fucking tactical light with the Safariland triple retention duty holster, 1 pair of cuffs, no pepper spray, no batons, none of that shit, no taser, wearing
Well,
the bulletproof vest.
in 2001, pepper spray and fucking tasers and shit like that wasn't a thing. You fucking
No,
shot a dude. You kneecapped the motherfucker. Yeah. If you didn't want to kill him, you kneecapped him. I'm just saying.
well, I always made sure that when I went to the range, I didn't shoot expert. It was easy to shoot expert because all you're doing is shooting at a paper target. It's not like you were under stress or your adrenaline wasn't bumping, right? I knew a
Yeah.
bunch of guys that when I worked in the casino, they were always shooting expert. I'm like, okay, guys, I said, you fucked up. What do you mean? I would shoot enough to barely pass my proficient shooting exams. And my instructors used to get on me about it in the casino. And I told them, I said, look, I said, the reason I'm shooting so shitty, and you know I can shoot better, you've seen me shoot better, is that if I ever get in a situation where my adrenaline is pumping and God forbid, I got to go in the casino and pull my gun, which
Oh
is a
fuck.
no-no,
Yeah,
and
that
shoot a
would be
guy
bad.
because he's armed, because I know I'm going to get fired, but, you know, if I got to do it, I got to do it. Like they didn't want armed casino in the security, but they didn't want armed security in the casino, but they needed it as well as have it on the outside as well. Because Boulder Station was one of those places where they would hire former law enforcement officers like chiefs from Las Vegas Metro and everywhere else. They were like pro police. And so I had a supervisor that was a former Metro cop, like a detective or something. He was high ranking in Metro, and he'd retired from Metro, and he was doing this, and his son was in the MMA, and so I was like, okay, whatever. And so he was like the chief of security, but he was really well read and he was really fucking smart, right? And he's like, Lou, he goes, we don't want our guys in the casino to pull their weapons. He goes, but if you need to, you need to. He goes, that's why we have armed guys, but we have very strict guidelines.
Well, I mean, but if you got it, you got it. If a motherfucker comes in there with a bazooka, what the fuck are you gonna do? Yeah.
I mean, it's unrealistic to think someone's going to use a bazooka, but I get the line of thinking that you're going through. I get it. If there was an egregious threat that was basically life or death, and you had to fucking pull, then they would reassess it and be like, okay, you had to pull. But they had enough people working in the casino to provide backup. So if a situation got physical, hopefully they wouldn't have to pull. And it was required you had to have at least a double retention holster for your gun. Some guys carried, 38s. Some guys carried 9mm. I carried a 40. They would never let you carry a 1911 45 unless you had specialized training behind it and they okayed it. And I'm like, it's fucking stupid.
Are you talking about fucking Dirty Harry kind of shit?
No. Dirty Harry carried a Smith and Wesson Model 629, I think 44 inch, like, or 44 Magnum 6-inch barrel gun. They would never let you have a Dirty Harry gun. No 44 Magnums, no 50 calibers. You could have a 357 SIG, 9mm 40 caliber. You could have a 45 as long as it was like a Glock 45, like a double action only. They didn't want any single action cocked and locked. But so not everybody carried the same kind of gun. So when I went and I worked for the fucking casino, I had a triple magazine holster that was all one piece, and it went on my duty belt, and it had 3 slots, and I carried 3 15-round high cap mags plus 1 15-round high cap mag in my gun, topped off on the chamber, so I had 16 rounds. It's not a good idea to top it off, but then on my days off, I would go home. I had a bowl. I would just jack all the rounds from my magazines, including the one in my gun magazine, into the fucking bowl. And I would take the gun and I'd set it up, and it would always be chambered to shoot, even if it only had 1 round in the barrel, in the chamber. And then I would get a fucking, 10-round mag or whatever, and I'd fucking put like 5 or 6 in it just to, have something for around the house. Not to mention I had other guns, but, So they never wanted us to fucking pull in the casino. But when I went to housing authority security, it was like the Wild West. You got fucking pimps and drug dealers and fucking prostitutes and gangbangers. And like, the fuck, man? And like, when you're a white guy and you're working in a predominantly black neighborhood, you fucking get a little uncomfortable. I'm not racist. I don't give a fuck. I mean, if I cut a black person in the fucking housing authority, they're going to bleed the same shit I am, red. We're human beings, but the culture shock behind it all, dealing with the fucking OGs and shit. And, when I'm supposed to run a 3-man crew with a Mexican dude and a black dude, the Mexican dude's on heroin, and the black dude's a former Playboy blood turned fucking Uncle Tom street preacher, and nobody fucking respects him in the hood, including his own fucking family members that are still associated with the Playboy Bloods, Rolling 60s, and Donna Street Crips. What the fuck am I supposed to do about it? Puts me in a position. Everybody knows what you're carrying, and if they want to reach out and touch you, fuck, you're never going to see it coming. So I just fucking gave up. I just didn't care anymore. I just went to work like, fuck it. If it's my last day, I'm going to get in a fucking fight and you're going to fucking fight to take me. And that was my attitude. And I just, of course, that was like, the same year that I tried to commit suicide, lost my parents within 11 months and a day of each other, stayed drunk for 2 weeks, had a lot of shit going on in my head.
Oh, I totally get that. And, well, I've got a story. I'll save it till later. But yeah, man. I mean, I've been there. I've been to the bottom of the barrel and fucking want to bust the goddamn floor out and keep digging. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know if it was exactly bottom of the barrel, but I was fucking down at the bottom, and I was just like, fuck it. Like, when I went back to this company, I'd worked for them on and off over the years. When I went back to this company, I went to this property that a guard had gotten killed like 6 months prior. He wasn't wearing his vest. He wasn't wearing his vest. He was with a new guy that he was training, and the fucking captain should have been there with him, training with him, but he was at the office. So these two guys got ambushed. The guy that had been there the longest, as long as the captain, they shot him in the back 3 times with 3 240 grain ball ammo, 45 caliber slugs, or 230 grain. They shot him 3 times in the back with 3 230 grain ball ammo slugs, not jacketed hollow points. So he fucking coded between the houses, and they got him back. They put him in the fucking ambulance on the way to the hospital. He coded again. They brought him back a second time. Before they could get him into the operating theater in the emergency room, he coded a third and final time, and he fucking died.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
Now, the guy who was with him was a trainee, and he had a gun, but nobody thought to shoot back. Like, these guys didn't shoot back. They were just running for cover, because they were riding away from these guys, and there was a lot of tension between the guys they were arguing with. The guy that was there was a new guy. He'd been there like maybe a week. He was getting on the job training, but the guy that got shot always got into it with the gangbanger because of his partner, who was dirty, who was doing drugs, and fucking quit his job and moved in with the family, and was fucking doing whatever. Like, he went to the dark side, basically.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
I get you. I'm following you. I'm still here.
So he died, and so the police presence in that area was massive. Like, we had undercover, we had gang units, we had helicopters, we had fucking everything, dude. Armed police presence everywhere. So it was almost right around the 6-month mark where they were going to start curtailing it. There would still be cops in the area, but it wasn't like it was. It was like a fucking parade. No matter where we went on property, we would see cops. Undercovers, SWAT, marked patrol units, K9 units, whatever. Right? I mean, they really pushed to put their presence there. Gotcha. So, and they know who did it, but nobody could prove it because nobody had an eyewitness account. The only eyewitness was dead. The other guy was found on a 1-level roof about a mile away, cowering, all in the fetal position, he was done. Didn't want to do security ever again.
Right.
And
gotcha. It's like, man,
I can't
fuck this shit. Yeah. Yeah.
He had some severe psychological issues, and I don't blame him. Because you're not prepared for that. Like, getting shot at out of the blue. But I don't think I was actually prepared for it, to get shot at. I never got shot at, never had to shoot anybody, but I did pull my gun a lot of times, and I did hold people down on the ground at gunpoint, only for the cops to come up and slap me on the shoulder or give me a high five or, slap me on the arm. I'm like, Lou, what do you got? I'm like, this fucking guy right here. Bag of drugs, trespass, whatever.
This fucking guy. Yeah.
That fucking guy.
Yeah. I get you.
And And, most people would say, oh, well, you're a fucking racist. Well, most of the people that were doing the crime were black young men that lived in housing authority. They were looking up to the OGs, and the OGs were getting out of fucking prison after like 10, 15, 20, 30 years. And they're like, fuck this gang lifestyle shit. Get away from it. And the young cats, growing up, they were all about, oh, we want the fucking money. We want the pussy. We want the nice cars. We want the gold chains. And, it's like fucking guys, the guys who were predecessors to this, who had already fucking done that shit, already lived that lifestyle, went to fucking prison, state prison for years, murder, attempted murder, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Assault and battery. They we're not about this anymore. Like, these guys were old, right? And I was like, fuck, man.
Old. Yeah.
So they were trying to encourage them not to do it, but there was no, when you live in poverty, like if you're living in a housing authority environment, you're basically living in poverty, and there's no way out unless you make a way out for yourself.
Fair
unless
enough.
you have the drive to leave.
Yeah.
And, there was a lot of smart people that I know that came from housing authority, minority type people, not just black people, talking other minorities. And so when you're a white guy and, you come in a nice car, or you got a 4-wheel drive Jeep Cherokee like I had, and you get out and you're wearing all your fucking battle rattle. I had a fucking bulletproof vest. I had a Mossberg 500A pump shotgun with all the fucking equipments, attachments, 1911 Kimber, full-size Glock 22 on a drop leg holster. I got all my shit. I'm just like a fucking cop, but without the authority a cop has. And I'm not trying to be a cop. Never really wanted to be a cop. I'm just doing my fucking security job, and I got all the best weapons I could find for the money. And then, I get a guy that comes in. He's like a fucking plumber in his daytime job, and he's doing security to make extra money. He shows up with a fucking high point. I'm like, how do I take this guy serious? He's not taking his job serious. He bought the cheapest piece of shit gun he could find that would not fucking do him anything in a gunfight. I mean, if he had to bludgeon somebody to death, great. But if you're talking about having a gunfight, you're not going to get anywhere near the people shooting at you to be able to bludgeon them to death with your fucking high point.
Yeah, doesn't the high point have like a 3-foot? That's the accuracy range is like 3 or 4 or 5 feet.
Well, mind you, when I was doing security back in the day, a high point was worse than a Ruger.
Yeah.
Okay? Or a high point was worse than a Taurus. You remember Taurus was that company out of Brazil that was copying Smith & Wesson.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And Taurus wasn't bad. Now, I had a bunch of Taurus revolvers and stuff. They made some pretty fair guns back in the day. Okay? Even though they were like a Brazilian copy of a Smith & Wesson, right?
Mm-hmm.
The only thing from Taurus you really didn't want was like a Saturday night special, a 38, because it was garbage, But, the 357 Magnums, the, 44 Magnums. I mean, they made some really nice guns, but it was a direct ripoff of Smith & Wesson with the Taurus name. And then they used substandard metals and, hardware and everything else.
Well, my dad bought Mom a 38 special. What the fuck was the name of it? I think it was a Smith & Wesson 38 special. Motherfucker was badass. I mean,
Smith & Wesson was great. And then, you had the Colt revolvers, but anything to do with the name Colt was always expensive. Even back when I, started doing security at 29. Fuck it, dude. Like, really?
Yeah, you're paying for the name, not necessarily the quality of whatever you're getting. You're paying for that name.
Well,
if you get okay, let's go with this. If you're getting Budweiser, 33% of what you're paying is on that name.
Well,
It
here's the
doesn't
thing
matter
to
about
consider.
beer. Yeah.
Here's the
Ouch.
thing to consider. So I got in security when I was it was 1997, December of 97. I was 29
Mhm.
years old. Just happened to get into security at 29, not really looking forward to it, just, got into it by accident. And I did several different levels of security. I never did executive protection, nothing like that, but I did the HUD, Section 8, and low income housing to start. And I started with the Ruger P95 DC, decocker model. It was okay for a starter gun. I had a double retention holster, no big deal. I was proficient with it. Then I switched over to a Glock. And then from there, I went to a 1911 Springfield, and then I went back to a Glock. Glock was probably my most favorite gun because it was a gunfighter's gun in the respect that if you put it in a triple retention duty holster, unless you knew how to get it out, most people didn't at the time because it had a thumb switch and then it had a collar that went across the front that was spring loaded. You'd have to press down and rock it forward. And then with the side screws holding the gun in, you'd have to twist it to the side. So it was like, 3 things you'd have to do to get the gun out. Because you never wanted your gun with 15 rounds in one chamber to be used against you, because that would be like the worst thing that could ever happen to anyone in security. And
Yeah,
so,
if somebody snatches your gun, you're gonna have a bad time. Yeah.
yep,
You're gonna have
you're gonna have to have a weapon for your offhand. Like I was right-handed dominant, so I had a fucking knife usually in my left pocket. So if somebody went for my fucking gun, I was gonna stab the shit out of them.
Mhm.
Hopefully they didn't get any rounds off. But back in the day, back in the day of like 1997, 98, I was buying auto ordnance 45s from Sports Authority back in the day in Vegas when you could get guns at like Sports Authority. Thompson made the auto ordnance 1911 and it was a piece of shit. Because when the round would go through the ejector on the side of the fucking gun, where the fucking rounds are supposed to eject backwards, when the slide moves back and then it runs a new bullet up, it would get fucking stovepiped on the way out and it would fuck everything up. I can't tell you how many times I had fucking auto ordnance.
Well, for the people in the chat, the fucking bullet casing would get stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it would fuck everything up. Yeah. Hey, everybody in the chat.
So for people who don't understand, on like a 1911 semi-automatic handgun, it was gas operated. So when the fucking slide would come back to eject the empty shell after firing the bullet through the chamber, which is the barrel, out the end of the gun, the slide would come back to eject the old cartridge, the empty cartridge casing. But the lip of the cartridge would get stuck coming out of the barrel and out the ejector on the side of the gun. And you're trying to ramp a new round right into the barrel, the chamber, so the slide would go forward and reset so you could shoot again. And so that would fuck everything up. It would jam up the gun. It would just be a pain in the ass. Total pain in the ass. And no matter what rounds I ran through, whether it was ball ammunition or jacketed hollow points, it would fucking do it every time. Right. So I would bring it back to them, and they'd say, "Oh, well, we can give you another gun." I'm like, "Okay," but it'd always have to be another auto ordnance. So after like the third auto ordnance of it doing it, I just said, "I want a full refund, or give me money toward a purchase of another gun like a Glock or Beretta, whatever." And I had a couple Berettas.
Well, I'd have just asked for the full fucking refund and fuck you guys, I'm going home. Yeah.
Well, I did after the third time, but then, okay. I would go to other gun stores. Like back in the day, Berettas, like the P95s or the P92s. Like, I can't remember the model now, but it was like the one that Mel Gibson used in Lethal Weapon.
Oh, the first one?
Yeah.
Oh, so that gun? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You know the one I'm talking about? So they had ones that were made in Italy, and then they had ones that were made in America, right? So you could get the American version for pretty cheap, but then the Italian version was a few $100s more, and it had the Italian writing on the slide and everything else, right?
Yeah.
And I got the American version, Beretta, and I got a fucking black one or all blued one, and then I got an all stainless one. And the all stainless one was super nice. Loved it. But you couldn't get any fucking finger groove grips like Packmars or Hogues at the time. You just had whatever Beretta came. And then if you wanted to, you could get like a slip-on grip like they would put on some of the Glocks. But, you know, other than using the skateboard tape, you know, to keep your hand solidly planted on the fucking Glock because it was plastic, you know, polymer.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a couple of those and I liked them and they were cool, but just for everyday use, I had my 1911 Springfields, which I liked. They were the custom loaded. And they were about, I don't know, $450. And back in 97, that was a lot of money. $450 for a gun. And they were cool, you know, but as far as like everyday work, a Glock was the perfect gun. There were so many fucking holsters, and I had night sights on my Glock. I had that Streamlight tactical light that went on the pick canny rail. It would slide right on. It would go up to the trigger guard.
Did you have the laser beam sight?
No. No, I do have a. I wanted the laser beam, but I'm like, no, this is fucking like a fucking movie. I don't want that. I just wanted the fucking light. It would strobe, and then it would just fucking, be a straight white light. But at the time, that's when they were using little light bulbs. So the first time I took it to the range, I popped the light because of the inertia of the slide rocking back and forth. And then to replace the light, it was like $30 for like a little light bulb, right? And you couldn't touch it with your bare hands. You'd pull it out because it have two little fucking pin settings.
Yeah.
You pull it right out, put a new one in, and then you'd put it all back together.
Well, somehow they convinced everybody that your fingerprints would fuck that shit up. Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. I mean, thanks everybody who showed up. If you want to jump in, the links in the chat.
It was the acid on your fingers that would fuck up the light.
Yeah, it's like your sweat or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Would fuck it up. Yeah.
So it would basically make it as to where it would fucking last not as long. So if you're gonna do it, use a rubber glove or tissue paper or whatever. And so I did that, and it would never seat right with the fucking rubber mount for the back for the switch where the batteries went in.
Mm-hmm.
So every time I went to the range, I just took it off the gun, knowing that if I was ever in a situation at night where I had to use it, I was going to get maybe 1 or 2 rounds out of the gun and the light was going to pop. Now, of course, everything is, they don't have a light bulb. It's just, what do they call it now?
The LED bullshit. Yeah, I know what you're talking.
LED is better than the bulbs ever were. The light output is 3 times what a bulb was back in the day. And it's so durable. Like you could take an LED flashlight and throw it across the parking lot. Or in my case, break the fucking window on your truck because the truck's not running and you're fucking aggravated. I have a Streamlight where I did that and I busted the fucking windshield all the shit. I mean, I fucked it up and the light went rolling off the truck and busted up the bezel on the outside. I still have that light. Still works great. Looks like shit.
Well, I mean,
it's got chunks taken out of it from throwing it at shit. Before I got my anger under control.
Well, you don't bust out the windshield, man. You bust out one of the back windows of the car.
I was so fucking mad that when I threw it, I forgot I was throwing it at the front windshield. It's when I worked at the cemetery. And I just fucking hit the windshield and cracked it. Like it was all spiderwebbed and shit.
Oh, God.
I was like, fuck. And I did it in front of my mother-in-law and my wife. This is before I got my shit under control and I went to marriage counseling with the wife for
Right.
like 3 years.
Right. Okay. Fair enough.
And
Fair enough.
I fucked it all up. And I remember driving home from San Bernardino that night with my window all fucking spider webbed and cracked. And I had this little area right in front of the driver's side. It was like a 4x8 piece that wasn't cracked, but everything around it was just blown apart. It was fucking
Oh,
cracked
man.
and fucked up, and like it was fucked, dude. Like it was terrible. I'm surprised I didn't get pulled over. I had to go run the freeway to get home. And so now, of course, that was $150 to replace that windshield. $150 that I could have
only
kept.
150. Only 150. See, it'd be like 250 where I'm at. Yeah.
It was a lot of money even back in the day to fix it, but again, I got the truck fucked up. I'd put a lot of work into the motor. I had to replace the fucking heater hoses, radiator, because the shit that was going through the radiator into the fucking radiator and the hoses into my motor, it was like chocolate milk.
Oh, that's nasty. Yeah.
It was nasty as fuck.
Yeah, you gotta watch that shit. I've got a Honda Ridgeline, and the only problem I had, I wasn't checking the fucking radiator coolant fluid and shit. And so the radiator decided to blow up on me. And I was like, well, fuck. So I had to walk home and get them $650. Wasn't that bad.
But that's still, it's a lot of money when you have to spend it. Especially when you're like thinking about spending on other shit like, porno mags or fucking whiskey or cigars or, whatever your expenses are, right? And I get it. And so I got the truck for like $800 from my buddy. His wife fucked it up. I mean, it was full of food and trash and kids' toys. And I'm like, the fuck, bro? And he's like, yeah. He goes, I gave it to my wife and she fucking crammed it. And we were in his house, in his driveway, and I was cleaning the fuck out of this truck because I was going to drive it back to California. Every corner of this truck had been smashed by the previous owner's wife because she was high on fucking drugs. The fucking bed was smashed up on both sides. It was a quad cab, so it was a Dodge Dakota pickup. Oh, fucking smashed up everywhere. Front, back, sides. I think the only thing that didn't have any dents in it was the roof.
Fuck.
Okay? I mean, it was a dog-ass piece of shit. And the alignment was off, and I had fucking problems with the electric windows, so I took a 2x4 and I stuck it in the fucking window track. So when the window would come down, it would only go down like about 3 inches. So I'd have enough air to come in, especially in the wintertime, without freezing my balls off, right? And I ripped the headliner out at one point because it started leaking when it was raining. I had to fucking, take a couple of pinholes on the inside of the roof and caulk them. Just a lot of fucking shit. I was in the truck for like $3,600 after purchase price of $800, doing the radiator, doing some engine work, fucking sealing some gaskets on the valve covers and shit. New battery, oil change, new tires, trying to get a front end alignment, shit like that, And then I ended up wrecking it one day. Fucking ripped the spindle off the left wheel and it just fucking crashed to the ground after I hit somebody in a stoplight. So I was like, well, that truck's fucked. I ended up selling it for $300 to a scrapyard, and it was worth about $300. But what I did was I reset the computer because I would always have the engine light come on after so many miles. So I reset the computer with a reset tool, turned it on, and then turned it off. So when the tow truck guy came to pick it up, even though it was all fucked up and everything, because he was giving me $300 for it, he turned it on. Oh, no light. Great. So he actually gave me $50 more. I ended up making $350 off the truck. and I used that as a down payment for a car that I went to buy. Subprime loan, of course. And, just carried on from there, but I was always trying to get away from not having a car payment. But here's the thing. If you don't have a car payment and you buy something used, you're going to have to invest money into it monthly, it seems like, to work out all the quirks. At some point, you're going to have to start putting money into it. Now, if you have a new car
No,
and you take
no.
care of the new car,
Well, fair enough. When you buy a used car, you are buying somebody else's problem.
exactly. So
Yeah.
if you're buying a new car, like I have a new car, well, it's not new, but it's 4 years old and it's got less than 50,000 miles on it. I have to make
Mhm.
my payment every month for the car payment, pay my fucked up insurance because, it's a new car, still considered a new car, and then pay my registration every couple of years, which is jacked because, they fucking overvalue these cars more than they're really worth because they want that monetary gain from the DMV. All right, whatever.
Oh,
So
sure. I got
after
my.
my car is paid for, I'm going to have to do some heavy maintenance to it, not just oil changes, and make sure it's in top running condition. But because I don't drive very far now for work and back, I'm like 15, 20 minutes away from my house. And because my car sits, and then when I go to travel locally, it's again, not that far. I'm really not putting that many miles on my car. It's sitting in the driveway. Like on my day off, I might go 12 miles round trip to where I got to go and back. That's nothing. I've had jobs in the past where I was traveling 30 miles each way to work and back, 5 days a week.
Oh, sure. I get that. If I've got to go out and go to the store, it's like 16 miles. And my truck is barking at me, hey, you need to get the oil change. No, I don't. Because I don't go that fucking far.
Yeah. And I've been running full synthetic in my car since it was new, just because I want to make sure that in case it goes low or I have problems or God forbid I pop the oil pan, it's got that silicone, that lubricant that full synthetic oil uses, or hopefully you don't fucking seize up your motor.
True that. Yeah.
And I looked at the service manual for the car, and I can ask the service manager at Nissan. He's like, oh no, he goes, you can use full synthetic oil. He goes, but the problem is, once you switch to full synthetic oil, you can't go back to regular oil. So that's fine. So to get an oil change, it's about $110 now.
Shit.
Yeah, it's expensive, but I go about 7,500 to 8,000 miles. I could go to 10,000 miles or better, but I try not to. But because I don't drive very far anymore, if I get an oil change for $110 and I'm supposed to go in like every 4 months or 4,000 miles, whatever, fuck that, dude. I'm going to go 8,000 miles or better. Maybe extend it out to 8,500. Check my oil and everything, when I go and get gas, look under the hood, see if there's anything afoul, making sure there's no leaks. And because I don't drive that much, I don't need to fucking replace my oil. So I think the last time I replaced my oil was like 8 months ago. And I should replace it right now, but I'm going to wait till I hit the 50,000 mile mark in my car. And then like, oh, well, like when I do the oil and it's $100, 110, they're like, oh, you need to come back in 3 months. I'm like, fuck that. I said, I'm not doing that. That's wasting my money. And like, they're trying to get me every 3,000 miles like it's conventional oil. And they're fucking stupid like that. Like I know better. So no, I'm not going to fucking do that. I'm going to wait. And they don't like it when I wait. They get mad. And then when we go to the oil change place, they want you to stay in your car. And like, oh, can you turn on the lights? I'm like, no. I said, we're not doing any of that bullshit. and they get all offended when I tell them that. I said, look, I said, if the shit doesn't work, that's on me. I said, I'm not fucking around, turning on my fucking lights, doing all my turn signals. I just want you to add air to my tires, change my fucking oil, change my oil filter, and replenish whatever fluids need to be replenished. That's it. And when I tell them this, these guys kind of fucking get a chip on their shoulder. If they pull up my air filter and it looks a little dirty, they're like, oh, well, you need to replace it. I'm like, it's good. I said, well, let it go for another 5,000 miles. They get mad because they can't upsell me.
Oh,
It's funny.
exactly. Yeah, it is.
I mean, they get fucking so mad, like they're fucking mad as shit. I'm like, what are you mad for? I said, look, I said, I know it's your job to upsell. I get it, but I don't need anything. I just need the oil change, replace whatever fluids are low, please, and check the air pressure of my tires. That's really all I need. And I don't go through the safety checks and like, you don't want to do the safety. I'm like, no. I said, look, I said, the car is not a piece of shit. I take care of it. Even though it's dirty, and I smoke cigars in it and shit, I don't give a fuck. I used to always sit outside my car and not smoke in my car. Dude, I'm to the point where I don't give a fuck how my car smells. It smells way better than my farts. Even if it's a cigar I smoked the night before, I can always Febreze the fuck out of it and get the smell out of it. And since the car is not going to be getting traded away, it's not going to be upgraded for a new car anytime soon. It's mine. I'm paying for it, and I'm going to pay it off and keep it. I just don't, I don't care. I'm just going to fucking do what I do in my car. I eat in my car. I smoke in my car. I grab my piss jug out of the trunk and open up the door and piss in my piss jug. I don't give a fuck, dude. My car is multi-use. I got seat covers on the front seats. I got a trash bucket on the floorboard. I got an ashtray in my cup holder. I'm still taking care of my car. It's dirty all the time. I don't spend the high amount of dollars it costs to clean this car. I've got a guy and he's expensive, but he does really good work. Last time he cleaned my car was last year. He did a fucking full body fucking wax job and everything. Cleaned my car with steam. It was like $200, but it was worth it. Full on fucking detail.
Wait. Time out. He gave you a wax job and a steam job? Good going. Good going.
I mean, the guy fucking does a good job and he cleans with steam anyway. I mean, the fucking, when he brought my car back to me, it was better than the day that I bought it from the showroom. I'm like, fuck yeah.
Fair
and
enough.
Of course, it would look good. It looked good for about a month or two, and then it got dirty again.
Well,
and he always sees me, and he always sees me and goes, Jesus, Lou. He goes, if you wait any longer, there's going to be fucking mold spores growing in this. I said, hey, now. I said, I like my mold spores. And he's always laughing and shit about it. He's like, when are you going to bring it by? So whenever I get the money, he goes, yeah, I know. He goes, I hear you. Because I'm going to have him detail the hood, the engine. I'm going to have him spray down my motor real good and clean it, degrease it and everything. Because my shit sits outside. I don't have a cover for it. I was thinking about getting a car cover for it, but it's not like a fucking see, this is the thing. If I had a BMW or a Hemi Charger or Hemi Challenger or whatever, or TRX, I couldn't afford the taxes on something like that.
No shit. Yeah.
I couldn't afford the maintenance on something like that. And I can't afford to get my car stolen. Nobody's wanting to steal my Nissan. This is the BBE edition, basic bitch edition, fucking Nissan Sentra. It's perfect. It's low technology like me. It's basic like I am. And nobody fucking wants to even bother stealing it.
Well, that's why I like my 2006 Ridgeline. Nobody's going to fuck with that shit.
Nobody wants to fuck with it. They look at him like, oh, that guy's fucking broke. That's a food stamp fucking Centra. I'm like, hey, you know what? Cool. It is a food stamp
Fair
Centra.
enough.
And I'm a
Fair
food
enough.
stamp kind of guy.
Hey, I am a bologna and cheese sandwich motherfucker. So you know, there's that.
Yeah, I'm bare bones. I'm basic, dude. Like, I don't want all that fucking technology. I have more technology in my phone than I do in my car. It's scary.
Well, that's fair enough too. Yeah. Cause shit.
But
Okay,
I just,
motherfuckers. Well, motherfuckers who don't think we went to the moon, we went to the moon with computing power less than the fucking Casio watch calculator bullshit that they had
hey,
back in.
I thought all that moon shit was faked in a Hollywood studio with Stanley Kubrick and somebody else.
It would have cost more money to fake it than actually do it. I'm just saying.
Well, I'm surprised because I hear that all that shit with NASA, they've never left the fucking planet. They can't.
Why can't we?
Because we never fucking left space. We never went into space. All that shit on the moon is fake.
Really?
That's what I hear. I
now
don't
we
know if
are
it's true.
gonna fight. Now we are gonna fight. Okay. Uh, how was it fake?
Supposedly, now this is somebody else's theory, not mine. I believe we went to the moon, but everybody else seems to think, oh, that shit was fake. You can see the fucking wires, and I'm like, okay, whatever. So supposedly, we never went to the fucking moon. We beat the Russians and told them we went to the moon, even though they faked it in Hollywood. And they used a fucking like sound stage or some shit, I don't know. And some of the fucking astronauts who are, ailing, close to death, have all confirmed that, we never actually went to the moon. It was fake.
They did.
They
Okay.
did go to the moon.
No, hey, look.
Well, these are probably the same people that say that 9/11 is a conspiracy. There's no way you're going to get thousands of people to fucking hold the secret that the U.S. government wants to kill its own citizens and topple two fucking towers that represent freedom and America, and everything that the Twin Towers, the World Trade Towers represented. There's no way.
Capitalism, commerce.
Yeah, our way of life, And like I understand that the FBI and the CIA both fucked up trying to fucking see who has the bigger dick, not worrying about reports of guys in Florida, 19 Arab guys or whatever, learning how to fly planes, but not wanting to fucking land the motherfuckers. Yeah, that's not suspicious. Okay.
Not at all. Yeah, no, not at all. Yeah.
And yet, where were the responding parties for the fucking instruction school? Why weren't they on the fucking horn letting somebody know, hey, we got these guys that want to learn to fly the planes, but they don't want to learn to land them? Like, that ain't suspicious? Come on. And then that plane that supposedly flew into the Pentagon and hit the one room that had the insight for all the money spending from the fucking vice president at the time, Cheney or whatever, blows up, destroys all those fucking records. And like, come on, dude, like, where did the plane go? Like, you can't tell me the plane is going to impact and there's not going to be a fucking V pattern cut from the wings and the fuselage and everything else. How come we don't have those videos to this day? Why can't we see in slow motion a plane coming down, hitting all those fucking light posts and slamming in the Pentagon because it never happened. It was a fucking missile that hit the Pentagon.
Okay.
I mean, seriously, if a plane's coming down like that fast, you don't think the wings would have been ripped off, hitting all those fucking light posts and trees? Airplanes are not that structurally sound. They're not meant to hit shit. Those wings would have been ripped the fuck off and fucking destroyed. There would have been more of a mess on the ground than there was. And what's so classified about a plane hitting the Pentagon if it was, in fact, a terrorist attack like they said it was? Why won't they show it?
Well, fair enough.
You know, I've never been a tinfoil hat conspiracy wearing nut job like some YouTubers I know. And I know it makes me sound like a tinfoil conspiracy nut job, a tinfoil hat wearing conspiracy nut job when I talk about this shit, but there's no fucking way, bro. Like, and then everybody's like, oh, when you saw the planes flying at the towers, those planes were remote controlled. Okay. So you're trying to say that the government took remote controlled airplanes. What happened to the passengers on all the airplanes? And then they're talking about the technology at the time where people were calling from the airplanes. Well, if there were no cell towers, they were able to grab the signal. How are these people calling from the airplanes saying that they were going to take over the airplane and they were going to fucking, you know, let's roll, take out the terrorists and shit? You know, our technology wasn't that advanced in 2001, as you know, not like today. So how were people able to make calls from the airplanes? I don't know.
I don't either, and I don't think we will ever know.
It's just one of those secrets that's not going to be made public to the public. Like, I think the government thinks that they know better than the American people. When in fact, I don't think they know better than us, but they think they do. And since they're in a position of power to tell us that they know better, or they feel it's in our best interest not really to know the truth for fear of what it would cause the general public, maybe the hysteria factor, I don't know. I think that's bullshit. I think the fucking American people should be told the truth on everything to do with us by our government. There shouldn't be any secrets. They should be transparent, but they're not. And there's nothing we, as like we the people, American citizens, can do to make our government transparent.
Well, okay. Here's this. What if they did tell us the truth about everything? Aliens are real, and you know, fucking religion is just a construct. How would people react?
Well, for me personally, if they told me that religion was a construct, I would still pray. I would still be a faithful Christian. Because if I don't have anything to believe in, like if they tell me God isn't real, I know for a fact God is real. I can't explain it to you. I just know it. I've witnessed certain miracles in my lifetime. I've prayed for certain family members, and they've been given extended time to live. They still died of what they were originally in the hospital for, lung cancer. But one of my uncles got 2 weeks extra, and it was almost like he didn't have lung cancer. He came out of his coma. He was able to spend time with his family, say goodbye, and then he died. He still died of lung cancer, but it was
great.
almost like it was a miracle.
Well, that's great. I'm glad. But I watched my dad die of cancer. So we won't go into that rabbit hole right
Yeah,
now.
each person's story is different. Each
Mhm.
person's trauma with their family is different. I get it. You know, like my mom went in for a triple bypass in May of 2000, and fuck, she was DNR like 7 days later.
Right.
Took her off the breathing machines. She was brain dead. And then with 11 months and a day, watched my father fucking die. Took him out of the hospital. Within 12 hours, he was drowning in his own lungs. It happens.
Yeah, that's
Then I stayed drunk for 2 weeks, put a 1911 Springfield in my mouth, pulled the fucking trigger.
no. Don't fucking do that, man. I mean, they
Too late, I
died.
already did it.
They Dad's lung cancer spread throughout his body. There was no way to stop it. Even if we put him in the fucking Hulk machine, the shit would not have gone away. I mean, so
Exactly.
yeah,
And you got to look at the quality of life. Is he better alive suffering, or is he better going off to heaven?
that's exactly right. I mean, I may or may not agree with you on the heaven part, but is he better uh, quality
Not
of
suffering.
life versus quantity of life? Yeah, there's that.
Yeah. And so, it was hard for me to wrap my whole head around it. Like when a cat dies or a dog dies, you want to believe they're going to go to heaven. And their version of heaven is Rainbow Bridge. I know it's stupid, but when you're a grieving pet owner, you got to have something to believe in.
Well, no, when
It makes
when
it makes it a little bit easier to deal with the grief of losing a beloved pet, knowing that, hey, they're at Rainbow Bridge, and they're frolicking around with all the other cats and dogs, waiting for me to come upstairs and join them. So even if aliens were real, we know aliens are real, because how could we blindly assume we are the only life force in this galaxy? Bull fucking shit. There are other life forces out there. We are just one tiny speck in the cosmos of our solar system, not to mention the many other solar systems out there. Okay?
well, even if, and this is a stretch, even if we are the only life forms in this galaxy, in the Milky Way, all right, how many other galaxies are
That's exactly my point.
there? Yeah.
So, there's no fucking way we're the only sentient life anywhere. There's other
Yeah.
fucking galaxies, there's other planets. And look, okay, God made us in his image, and, he died on the cross for our sins. He sent his only begotten son to die on the cross for our sins.
Okay.
So we wouldn't have to fucking go to hell. We could ask for forgiveness. Okay? And I'm not going to get into a whole theological debate. Everybody believes what they want to believe. You could be a Scientologist. You could be a fucking Mormon. You could be a Hare Krishna, a Seventh-day Adventist. I don't give a fuck. You could be Hindu. You could be a fucking what is it? You can believe in the Quran, right? I think ultimately, though, even though they all have different versions of what they believe, I think it's all manifested in God. Christians believe in Jesus Christ. The Catholics believe in Mother Mary. They believe in Jesus, but it's different. It's kind of convoluted. The Muslims believe in Allah. Seventh-day Adventists and Mormons believe that after God died. 7 days later, he showed himself to the Mormons. Of course, the Holy Bible negates that, but whatever. So I think in all actuality, every religion out there believes in a higher power, whether it's God or Allah or whoever. I think it's all the same.
Well, you are right about one thing. God and Allah are the same person.
Yeah.
God means God in English. Allah means Allah. And it means God in fucking Hebrew or whatever the hell.
Actually, not Hebrew. Arabic.
Arabic. There you go.
And so, like when you try to talk to some people that are really hardcore in their belief of the Arabic Bible, the Quran, of course they want to tell you no, you're wrong, but you're not wrong, not at all. Unfortunately, though, when you have these religious zealots that think they're right and everybody else is wrong, and then they want to go out and start killing people because it's their way, or you're wrong, you're an infidel. It becomes a problem. It poses a lot of problems, quite a bit. That's the kind of shit that I try to stay away from, because it's like you're never gonna win an argument like that. Like when you see these guys going to fucking college campuses and they're burning a Bible and the American flag. God forbid you get up there and you grab one of their fucking Torahs or their Qurans and you fucking burn it in public. They want to fucking execute you on the spot. But you just did that with a Bible or the American flag. But yet you're in my motherfucking country, going to our fucking schools, learning our fucking skills and trades for what? So you can hate us? If you hate America that much, stay the fuck out of our country. We don't want you. And I don't think that's a racist statement. Do you think that's a racist statement?
Nope.
I don't think so. We live in the greatest country in the world, where everybody wants to come here and partake in everything that we have, only so they can go back to their shithole countries and fucking destroy us. It doesn't seem right.
Fair enough. This has been 2.5 hours of Clockwork Rex and the Salty Rant. I appreciate you coming up here, brother.
I appreciate you letting me up.
Oh, it's all good. Hey, we can talk about whatever, whenever. So, but I'm gonna end this right now. Jump off, fix me something to eat, and probably drink a beer, smoke another bowl, and
Probably
oh,
kicked off the bed.
well, Live Free or Die Hard is on HBO, so I'm kind of
There you
had
go.
that. Yeah. So. But take care, everybody. I appreciate everybody who showed up. Geo and Salty and everybody in chat. I wish y'all a good fucking Tuesday after Memorial Day. I mean, not Memorial Day, Labor Day.
Labor Day.
Labor Day. Goddamn, I'm stupid. Anyway, but yeah, I hope you had a good Labor Day weekend. I had a couple of barbecues. It was kind of nice in a way. But anyway, like
All right, take care.
Take care, Salty.